Now, from the news team that's covering the Carolinas, this is Channel 9 Eyewitness News Daybreak at 5.
Big changes could be coming to the Mecklenburg County Health Department after months of controversy. The change in oversight that could be decided tonight.
For the first time, we're hearing from the man who saved a boy trapped underwater for 8 minutes at this Myrtle Beach resort. The training he says he had that helped him save that boy's life. A major story we're following for your day ahead. Mecklenburg County commissioners could make changes to who is in charge of the health department.
And the meeting comes as controversy continues to plague the department. Eyewitness News reporter Mark Barber joins us now live to explain the steps commissioners plan to take.
Brittany, tonight commissioners here at the Government Center will decide if they will give that power to oversee the health department to an independent board of doctors. Now, right now, that power rests in the hands of County Manager Dina Diorio and commissioners. Some commissioners worry they lack the training and experience needed to overhaul the embattled department. For the past month, Channel 9 has told you Diorio has been criticized for how she's handled several scandals, including test results, confidential patient information, and a whistleblower at the health department 3 years ago. That's when one of the health technicians at the department emailed her, warning her there was negative situations. That employee then tried emailing Commissioner Vilma Leak a year later, saying a coworker called black women a derogatory name. The whistleblower also said there was food in a biohazard cooler with HIV specimen, as well as a patient received incorrect chlamydia test because of unprofessional behavior. Now, some commissioners think that Vilma Leak and Dina Diorio did not do an appropriate job investigating those concerns, and that is why tonight they're thinking about handing that power to independent board doctors instead. Reporting live here outside the Government Center, Mark Barber, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Also happening tonight, people in unincorporated parts of the county will have a chance to speak out about who patrols those areas. Now, earlier this year, the city signed off on a deal allowing CMPD to patrol the areas outside of city limits of Charlotte, Mint Hill, and Davidson. That contract runs for the next 5 years, and breaking it will require 23 months notice. Now, Channel 9 will bring you every development from tonight's meeting. Watch Eyewitness News tonight at 10 and 11 for our complete coverage.
Following some breaking news this morning out of Brazil. Take a look. Incredible video here. We just got into our newsroom. Look at that there. It's a burning building in downtown Sao Paulo that collapsed as firefighters work. Look at this. They started to put out that fire in the middle of the night there. The building had been abandoned for many years. No word yet whether anyone was hurt. We are working to get some more information on that. These giant flames as that building collapses. We're monitoring several sources there in Brazil. We're going to have updates for you on this story throughout the morning. Happening today, the second suspect accused in the murder of a Charlotte mother will face a judge for the first time. Ashley Helms is charged with murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy in the death of Alexis Fraley. Her co-defendant, Richard Jordan, had his first appearance before a judge yesterday. Police found Fraley's body Friday morning in an abandoned building in West Charlotte. She'd been missing for 2 weeks. Also happening today, the man accused of inappropriately touching 2 children at Primrose School in Ballantyne will be arraigned. Police say Joseph Starnes is charged with 6 counts of indecent liberties with a child. They say the crimes happened last March while Starnes was employed as a teacher there at the school.
Charlotte water crews are cleaning up a secondary spill days after 15 million gallons of sewage spilled into Long Creek in West Charlotte. Charlotte Water says a bypass pump trying to clean up the mess failed on Sunday, causing 27,000 gallons of wastewater to spill. Officials say that spill lasted for about 40 minutes until crews were able to get out there and fix the pipe.
The Charlotte Water has had a lot of crews out there working constantly. They want this fixed as much as anyone else who might be downstream on Lake Wylie trying to enjoy the waters.
The Catawba Riverkeeper hopes the no swimming advisory currently in effect for part of Long Creek and Lake Wylie will be lifted by this weekend. The no swimming advisory was put into effect last week after a 30-inch sewer main broke, sending 15 million gallons of sewage into Long Creek, which flows into Lake Wylie and the Catawba River. Rock Hill added extra chlorine to the water to kill any extra bacteria, and the city of Belmont is also watching bacteria levels in the water. The man who helped save a boy trapped underwater at this North Myrtle Beach resort, he's now talking for the first time about those scary moments.
Incredible story here. Eyewitness News anchor Blaine Towson joins us now in studio. Blaine, that Good Samaritan is now being honored. I mean, this guy's a hero.
He really is. The North Myrtle Beach Department of Public Safety flew Sean Skursky back to South Carolina for this life-saving award. The corrections officer from Pennsylvania is thankful his experience working in prisons gave him the ability to act quickly. You can't forget this unbelievable surveillance video. It shows two boys playing in a lazy river at a resort in North Myrtle Beach last month when one of them removed a drain cover, then got his leg stuck in a pipe. And there you see Skursky with his own child. He ran in without hesitation to go help that boy, and then he couldn't come up for air. So Skursky started giving the boy CPR underwater while trying to get his foot free.
I just dove underwater and I just started breathing into his mouth. Every time I came up, I took another breath, and when I went down, I blew my oxygen into his mouth, and on the way up, tried to pull him out. It just wasn't working.
New this morning, South Carolina prison officials met with cell phone providers yesterday to help prevent cell phones from being smuggled into prisons. They held a high-level task force meeting in Washington, D.C. yesterday. Law enforcement says illegal cell phones are reaching crisis levels after last month's deadly prison riot at Lee Correctional. The options include jamming all cell signals or blocking some signals. That unusual option could be tested at Lee Correctional. The Parkland school shooting in February has some North Carolina lawmakers taking a closer look at safety at some schools. State law requires public schools to have a lockdown drill once a year, but publicly funded charter schools don't have to perform those drills. So state lawmakers are now considering a new proposal in the next session to force charter schools to hold the drills as well.
It no longer encourages us to share the schematic drawings with the emergency officials. It requires us to do that.
The next legislative session starts in 2 weeks.
Today is the first practice round for golfers at the Wells Fargo Championship at Quail Hollow. There are no set tee times, so golfers will just tee off whenever they're ready, really. There is a second Pro-Am Wednesday. Pairings have not been announced just yet. And good news for fans going to the tournament this year. You are now allowed to take pictures and videos with your phones as long as they are silent. All right, 5:14, live look outside from our Speedway camera. Once again, we are clear out there this morning, but what separates today from yesterday is that temperature at the bottom of your screen so much warmer, already in the 50s, and it's going to get much warmer today and throughout the week. Keith will show us what he expects to see in a few minutes. A man faces charges this morning after police say he tried to smuggle a knife into Charlotte Douglas Airport inside of a shampoo bottle.
That's right. You got to take a look at this. This is a picture from TSA of that knife and the travel size bottle of shampoo. Now, agents say the man was stopped at security when that knife was spotted on the x-ray machine over the weekend. Now, people we spoke with were surprised that someone thought they could get away with it.
If you got something in your shoes or anything, they're going to find it, so they might as well don't try to do it.
Well, TSA officials told us that they don't know the intentions of the man who was caught with that knife, but he is now charged with carrying a concealed weapon. Now, for a few months now, TSA has had an agreement with the sheriff's office where anyone who gets a concealed weapons permit must sign a document that they understand the laws about bringing firearms onto planes. And the fines can be even higher for people who have a permit who are still caught with a gun at the security check-in.
Well, the Macon County Sheriff says that he stands behind his deputy who shot and killed a man during a call. This all started when deputies responded to a fight between neighbors late Sunday night. Investigators say one of the neighbors was armed and confronted the deputy, and that's when the deadly shots were fired.
The deputy had made several commands for him to put his weapon down. The individual made an aggressive action toward my officer, at which time, in a self-defense manner, discharged his firearm, striking the individual.
The SBI is now investigating this. Well, you might want to check your bank account this morning. CMPD says thieves planted a skimming device on a Southeast Charlotte ATM. Police say someone discovered that device Sunday at an ATM. This is at the BB&T on Sardis Road, just off of Independence. That's near the Walmart store. They say it's unclear how many customers may have been impacted.
Well, Democratic South Carolina senators are willing to halt other important legislation to keep a controversial abortion bill from becoming law. The Republican-led Senate is close to passing a ban on dismemberment abortions. Now, they are rarely used and only when there are serious medical complications. Democrats are threatening to filibuster the bill until the session is over. It's a move that would also delay other bills. New this morning, new cars and trucks built as of today must include backup cameras. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says the rule, passed several years ago, will save lives. Now, back-over crashes are to blame for about 200 deaths a year. Money earmarked for Hurricane Matthew recovery left unused nearly 2 years after the storm hit.
And now frustrated homeowners want to know why that is. In Lenoir County, many people qualify for FEMA money, but it's not enough to cover all the repairs. But the Emergency Services Director says community development grants could fill that gap.
We've just got to get the go-ahead from the feds in the state.
He also says that many people aren't aware of that grant money. He hopes the county will have access to the money in the next few months.
Kind of warm this morning. At the very least, you'll need a light jacket, but you'll want to peel that off later. We're going to talk about the trend that we're looking at for the week ahead coming up in a couple of minutes. Now, the royal wedding of Prince Harry to American actress Meghan Markle, it is just in a few weeks, and a Charlotte Symphony conductor will have a major role.
Yeah, how about that? Yesterday, Channel 9 sat down with Christopher Warren Green. He conducted for the royal family on several different occasions, most famously for the wedding of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge in 2011. Well, now he's set to conduct for the wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
I think I can say to you that there will, of course, be quite an American slant on this one, because we're about to get a brand new and wonderful American princess.
Warren Green said the hardest part of conducting a royal wedding is timing out the processionals, which he did well at Kate Middleton and Prince William's wedding. The royal wedding is planned for May 19th. Kind of interesting. There is a Charlotte connection.
It is, and I wonder what that means, an American slant to the music.
We'll have to wait and find out. Interesting.
See what that is.
This morning, Charlotte Douglas Airport will open new Minute Suites for travelers who want to take a nap, work, or shower before their flight. The suites rent by an hour, and you can rent one overnight for a flat fee as well.
All dry and quiet out there as we head through our week. I'm looking over the data into the weekend ahead, see how much of a rain chance will be building back in.
Time after time, trucks are being stuck on this railroad crossing. I'm Gina Esposito, live in Huntersville. The device being blamed and why neighbors say it's completely avoidable.
Now from the news team that's covering the Carolinas, this is Channel 9 Eyewitness News at 6.
We're live beginning with breaking news as one person has been shot outside of a local mall. You're looking live from Chopper 9 Sky Zoom over East Ridge Mall in Gastonia. You can see police out there with crime scene tape outside of the Belk department store. We've been bringing you live pictures over the past hour. I'm Erica Bryant.
And I'm Scott Wickersham. Eyewitness News reporter Ken Lemon just got there at the mall on New Hope Road. He talked to investigators. Ken, what have you been able to learn about what happened out there?
We know that one person, a shooting victim, is at the hospital. That person taken by personal vehicle from this spot over to the hospital. Had an opportunity to talk to one person who just came here to the mall, who told me a very touching story that centers around. I want to show you this here. This green SUV right back here. I'm going to focus in. He was driving this vehicle, the orange vehicle. He got out. He saw a man get into that vehicle in the passenger seat. That's the area where police were focusing. He said he looked back and looked a little curious. When he came back out, he found all of this crime scene tape everywhere, investigators in the area, and we saw investigators pull one marker and one piece of evidence for the area around that green SUV. Chopper 9 Sky Zoom flying overhead, getting an aerial shot. One thing that's real key about this time and this location is that prom is Saturday night, and that means for a lot of young men and women, this is the day to pick up your dress. This is the day to pick up your tuxedo. And so that one individual I spoke with was here to meet his son. We saw several people coming in and out of the area. At this point, no information that anyone else was injured. Again, police say the shooter, they're still looking for the shooter in this case here. They're questioning people as they come out because some people, it's possible, may have seen something helpful on their way in and not realize it until they come out and see this massive scene here. We're still in the area talking with police, getting more information about what happened here. And as we get more details, I'll bring that to you. For now, live in Gastonia, I'm Ken Lemon, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Breaking news. Water main breaks throughout uptown, causing roads to buckle and offices to evacuate.
A flood of folks trying to get out these parking lots.
Some businesses have no water. Now we're asking what caused all these breaks, when they'll be fixed, and the possibility of more problems. And the problems get worse. Within the past 90 minutes, we've learned some apartments have flooded as well.
Only Channel 9 broke into programming this afternoon as water main breaks became bigger and caused some offices uptown to have to evacuate.
The water was bubbling up into the roads in 3 different spots at 9th and Tryon, 8th and Caldwell, and 8th and Davidson. Eyewitness News reporter Joe Bruno is on 9th Street tonight live, where the street is being torn up.
Well, this issue has plagued uptown through most of the day. Now it's extending into the evening. Take a look at this. They dug this huge hole. I'd say that's probably about 10 or 15 feet. They're down in there trying to get all that dirt out and trying to figure out what exactly happened with this pipe, but it is going to take a while for them to fix it. The water isn't flowing anymore, but at one point it was flowing all the way down toward the Hal Marshall Center. The issue was so bad it caused 9th Street to buckle. We have been here for hours watching as crews used a saw to cut through the street to try to figure out what exactly happened. It turns out this was caused by the breaking of 2 54-inch pipes located miles from here. Because of those failures, the water pressure built up underneath the surface and caused this mess. The water forced employees of the nearby Odell building to evacuate. People who live and work near here couldn't believe what was happening.
Water was running all down the street, all the way down to the train. That's a big mess. Hope they can fix it.
I just think it's like extremely interesting. I mean, it's just shocking to tell you the truth.
And they're loading all of that dirt and sludge into this truck right here. Think about it. As soon as they're done doing whatever it is that they're doing right here, they're going to have to pave this road. So it really is going to take hours for all of this work to be finished. And Charlotte Water just cannot say when this will all be wrapped up right now. We're reporting live in Uptown. I'm Joe Bruno, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Joe. Some apartments also flooding after all this, forcing families to get out. Water at 8th and Davidson Street just bubbled out of the manhole covers. A mixture of fresh water and sewage water leaked into 4 different units at nearby apartments. Michaela Wilson was at work when she first heard about it.
I know one of the ladies was saying that when she went to go use the bathroom, the water just shot up. She has water like in all of her bathrooms in the tub.
Wilson and her children plan to go stay somewhere else tonight. They don't plan to come back until their place is decontaminated. Of course, no word on how long that's going to take. Channel 9 sent out a breaking news alert as soon as we found out about the evacuations and about the road buckling. It impacts thousands of drivers and workers. You can download our WSOC TV app to get important breaking news sent straight to your phone.
Did you see patients under the influence?
For the first time today, Channel 9 questioned a VA doctor face-to-face about accusations he was under the influence while seeing a patient. Channel 9 investigated the doctor for months and learned he was one of several Salisbury VA workers disciplined for possibly putting patients at risk.
Eyewitness News anchor John Paul first told you about Dr. Gregory Earl Scott earlier this week and then tracked him down outside the courthouse today.
After months of investigating, Dr. Scott, I'm John Paul, Channel 9. I finally got the chance to talk to Gregory Scott today in person, but he didn't have much to say. Were you ever seeing patients while you were under the influence? We first reported on Dr. Gregory Earl Scott on Monday. He was a neurologist at the VA Medical Center in Salisbury. According to documents we obtained through the Freedom of Information Act, on December 13th, he saw a patient while he was under the influence of alcohol. So today, I asked him point blank.
And did you see patients under the influence?
No.
You never did?
No.
Why did you surrender your license?
The documents we uncovered show he had beer, vodka, and a knife in his car. Police made that discovery after a road rage incident in which another driver claims he pointed a gun.
Did you point a gun at anybody?
No.
Just weeks later, Scott retired from the VA and surrendered his license. But according to police, he returned to the medical center intoxicated and swore at officers. That's why he was in Rowan County Court today. He's charged with being intoxicated and disruptive and resisting an officer. Before he went in, he did say this.
It's all under litigation.
And that's all you have to say?
Yep.
After court, he was willing to talk with other people.
Dr. Scott, you'll talk with them, you won't talk with me?
But went into his attorney's office to avoid my questions.
In my investigation, I uncovered other problems at the Salisbury VA. Dozens of employees have been disciplined or fired recently. We found an 86% increase from 2016 to 2017 for everything from abuse of patients, sleeping on duty, and drinking. Scott, Erica?
Now, the VA said that it has reported that incident with Scott to the state medical board. Last year, Congressman Robert Pittenger helped to pass the VA Accountability Act. It protects veterans and makes it easier to fire the VA employees who cause problems. New tonight, a 15-year-old boy is charged with trafficking heroin.
15. Rock Hill police say that's the youngest suspect they've arrested for that crime. Reporter Greg Suskin is live to explain how they caught the teenager. Greg.
Rock Hill police stopped the two teenagers on a dirt bike here in the Southland Park neighborhood. They say they had enough oxycodone to charge a 15-year-old with felony drug trafficking. The Rock Hill officer saw the two boys on a dirt bike driving through this intersection at Saluda Street and Mount Holly Road. He followed the bike to Winchester Drive and Pearson Drive, where the teen stopped. John Thorne heard the bike and saw the police from his window.
I looked out the window. There was 3 carloads of police, and there was a dirt bike. I guess a dirt bike, a bike lane over there.
One teen took off running through the neighborhood. The other stayed with the bike. Police soon realized there was more going on here.
It began as a routine traffic stop, and then it turned into something a lot more than that.
Police say the 15-year-old had a backpack like this one. He allowed officers to search it, and inside they found .22 caliber bullets and the drugs. They found a bag of oxycodone pills and a separate bottle full of the same painkiller. The opioid is as powerful as heroin and highly addictive. The 15-year-old was released to a parent and will appear here in family court on the trafficking charge. To police, for someone that age to face that charge is rare.
It's just a pretty serious situation, and to be that young.
For neighbors, it's just sad.
Selling drugs? 15 years old? God almighty.
And that second teenager who ran from the scene has not been caught. Police are not saying at this time where they believe the teenagers stole those drugs from. We're live in Rock Hill. Greg Suskin, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Greg. New at 6 o'clock tonight, as North Carolina lawmakers debate a bill that would allow towns like Matthews to run their own charter schools, Channel 9 investigated to find out if campaign donors could sway their votes. Republican Bill Brawley represents Matthews. Channel 9 obtained records through NC Policy Watch and learned that a charter school owner from Oregon donated more than $7,000 to his campaign. A lobbying firm from Raleigh called McGuire Woods also donated $7,100 on behalf of a charter school organization. Now, these donations are not necessarily because of the debate in Matthews. Charter school advocates have been donating to North Carolina Republicans for years now. Matthews leaders are pushing for House Bill 514. They say it is a solution to overcrowding within the Charlotte-Mecklenburg School District. Today, leaders in Cornelius told us that they support the bill too.
Channel 9 is pushing a judge to unseal documents about an SBI search at the Catawba County Sheriff's Office. Eyewitness News reporter Dave Faraday stepped out of the courtroom in the past 30 minutes as he and other members of the media made our case to the judge on this. Dave?
Everything really just ended a short time ago. It's hard to really know what that judge is thinking tonight, Scott, because about an hour into the proceeding, he told reporters and others to leave the courtroom, closing the proceeding. We did get some video, and take a look at this right here of Sheriff Corey Reed and his attorney at the proceeding over the search warrant executed 2 weeks ago at the Catawba County Sheriff's Office. The SBI told us at the time it centered on stalking allegations involving his son, who is running to replace his father as sheriff. The Lincoln County Sheriff says his office received a report last summer of allegations Jason Reed placed a tracking device on a woman's car. The judge noted other search warrants in the case have been sealed in concern over the location of confidential buildings within the sheriff's office and other sources as the reason for closing the hearing to reporters today. He's expected to make possibly a ruling as early as tomorrow, as after reviewing items tonight. Reporting live from Gastonia, I'm Dave Faraday, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
And only Channel 9 obtained new documents showing Sheriff Erwin Carmichael has a perfect record in his 3-decade history with the county. We read through more than 1,000 pages. Most were thank you letters sent to the Sheriff's Department throughout his career. There are no records of any disciplinary action. Activists have called on all the sheriff's candidates to release their personnel files, partially because candidate Gary McFadden was involved in an officer-involved shooting back in 1988. McFadden told Channel 9 he will not release his records because he thinks the facts will be distorted. A third candidate, Antoine Ensley, did not respond to Channel 9's request for comment.
We have a live look right now from Quail Hollow Club, where the first round of the Wells Fargo Championship is underway. And Steve, it is hot out there today. You said it'll be even more humid tomorrow.
Yeah, Erica, and eventually that humidity is going to help fuel the showers and storms we've been tracking all week to our west. I'll show you when you'll be reaching for rain gear.
A renewed push to make it illegal to even hold a phone while driving.
I'm on Facebook when I drive.
The reason advocates think they could finally get the support they need.
We're here. We're not going. We're back, continuing to cover breaking news as one person has been shot outside of a local mall. We understand the victim has been taken to the hospital right now. You are looking live from Chopper 9 Sky Zoom at East Ridge Mall in Gastonia. A lot of crime scene tape earlier around this parking lot. Again, this is right outside of the Belk department store, and we understand they are still searching for a shooter as we speak tonight. We'll continue to follow it. There's a new push to require you to put your phone down while you're driving in North Carolina.
You wouldn't even be allowed to hold it if you're on a phone call. As Eyewitness News reporter Mark Barber reports, this comes after Georgia passed its own hands-free law.
Lawmakers have been talking about making drivers here in North Carolina put down their cell phones for 4 years. Now that Georgia has finally passed similar legislation, they now think it's time for them to try again.
I'm on Facebook when I drive. Sometimes. I know.
Jaquita Onque says she knows it's dangerous, but she still gets distracted.
It's been a couple times I've looked up and oh my, I'm in the wrong lane.
Lawmakers like Senator Jeff Tart want to make it illegal for drivers like Onque to hold a phone while driving.
And I'm excited what Georgia's done with the distracted driving, and it gives us a little more impetus to continue our efforts here.
Senator Tart thinks the similar bills he's filed before never made it out of committee because too many people were concerned the law would erode individual rights. The last bill he crafted was named after this Butler High student. Brian Garlock was killed in a crash when he was on the phone and did not see the trucks driving toward him. It's been 10 years, but his mother told me today the pain never fades.
The empty chair at our table, it never goes away. Every occasion, every daily event, our daughter got married last November. You know, her brother was conspicuously absent, and it didn't have to be that way.
She says she's encouraged North Carolina lawmakers are now trying to model a new hands-free bill after the one that was passed in Georgia. Even distracted drivers, like Onque, told me she's also in the same lane as safety advocates.
I think that would be a good idea to help people.
Well, Senator Tart plans to introduce new bills in January. He says if the bill is passed and crashes go down, your insurance premiums could drop anywhere from 5 to 25%. Other states with hands-free laws say they've seen a 16% decrease in deadly crashes.
A woman accused in a Salisbury murder faced a judge for the first time today. Prosecutors say Doreen Richardson shot and killed Quavis Phillips on Ackert Drive Tuesday morning. Investigators say Richardson's family turned her in hours later. Today, a judge gave her an attorney and scheduled her next hearing for later on this month. 7 people are now charged in a home invasion that left a man dead right in front of his own children. Jamison Chambers and Daquan Timmons are charged with murdering Darius Robinson last year. The 5 others are charged with armed robbery. Police say the group demanded drugs at Robinson's home on Airport Road in Pageland. And then they say the 2 murder suspects forced their way in and shot Robinson.
Channel 9 learned a Charlotte businessman who's out of the hunt to purchase the Carolina Panthers is still offering advice to some of the bidders. Felix Sabates told us today he's talked with 3 of the 4 known bidders. He says at least 2 bidders would want to build a new stadium. He also suggested 2 of them work together to buy the Panthers. And we told you interest from a businessman, Ben Navarro, David Tepper, Alan Kestenbaum, and Michael Rubin. We've told you all of them are in the hunt.
Today is the National Day of Prayer, and all across the country, many people took a break from their routines to pray. There was a small crowd outside the City Hall Plaza in Rock Hill at midday. The group gathered to pray for our nation, to pray for our leaders, schools, first responders, and for a spiritual awakening. The theme of the event was national unity.
Here's a live look at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Beautiful day out there. This weekend, more than 100,000 people are going to be packed into the Speedway for the Carolina Rebellion Rock Music Festival. And I got to admit, I was looking a moment ago, and Billy Idol's going to be there. So they're targeting my demographic.
Long time since I've seen him.
Yeah, I've never seen him in person, but I wonder if any rain will come and mess up Billy's spiked hair.
Well, we got somebody who has an answer, at least about the next few days. Here's Chief Meteorologist Steve Udelson. Steve?
I'm thinking Billy may want some product for the hair by Saturday evening, maybe even to early Sunday. Yeah, we're tracking this cold front we have all week long. It's had quite a storied history. Over 500 severe weather reports over the last 3 days. It is starting to weaken as it slowly marches to the east. So while it's producing big-time storms now, it's going to continue to push to the east as we head through tomorrow. Just more rain than anything else. 7-day forecast keeps us warm as we head through the middle of next week, and only a few showers.
Alrighty. Thanks, Steve.
We'll be right back.
We've talked a lot about Tiger Woods leading up to this tournament, and for good reason. Fans lined up 10 to 15 deep at every hole Tiger was hitting into, roaring with every birdie, groaning with every bogey, and fans had a chance to do a little of both. Tiger's 4th on the par 5 7th. After finding the bunker off the tee, rolls in the first of back-to-back birdies. That got him to 1 under par. Move to the 10th. This is his 3rd shot, and he does not like it. This one's going to end up well off the green. Tiger knows he has to do better. Come on, Tiger. It's a par 5, so he still has a chance to save par, but he's going to miss badly to the left. 3 birdies, 3 bogeys. Tiger finishes at even par. We'll hear from him at 10 and 11. Elsewhere, defending champ Mark Harmon lining up a 16-footer for birdie, and he's going to roll this one home. Harmon finishing at 1 over par. He's 5 off the lead. Peter Malnati, 1 of 4 atop the leaderboard. Here's why. Check out the touch on 18. Big swinger right to left, and he drains it. Malnati finishes with a birdie. He's at 4 under par. Little thumbs up, little fist pump, not too bad. Phil Mickelson, he played okay. Once again, though, finding trouble on 18. This from the left rough, and lefty leaves it left. This one in the water. 1 over on the day for Phil Mickelson. Back to 7, 2-time champ Rory McIlroy pitching on for eagle. This one going to cozy up to the cup. He would tap in the birdie. Rory 1 off the lead and liking the way his week is shaping up. Now tonight at 10 and 11, we'll set the stage for what should be an exciting round 2 with Tiger in the hunt and among the first off the tee. Live at Quail Hollow Club, Phil Orban, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Greens may slow down by Sunday with some showers rolling in Saturday night and early Sunday, but the weather not too bad this weekend. Still warm.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
Well, World News is coming up next.
Then join us right back here tonight at 11. We'll have all of your major news of the night. See you then.
Now from the news team that's covering the Carolinas, this is Channel 9 Eyewitness News at 11.
We begin tonight with breaking news at 11 o'clock. Just in the last 15 minutes, we learned shots were fired while police were out at this QT gas station in Northwest Charlotte tonight. Thanks for joining us. I'm Scott Wickersham.
I'm Erica Bryant. Now, we've been out at this scene along the Brookshire at North Hoskins Road for about an hour now. And Eyewitness News reporter Stephanie Tinoco just learned what led to this massive police response. Stephanie?
Well, Erica, two officers happened to be walking inside this QT as two suspects were walking out stealing cases of beer. Now, this escalated pretty quickly. The suspects led police on a foot chase, and as officers were handcuffing one of the suspects, they heard two gunshots nearby. Thankfully, officers were not injured, but investigators are working to find out if the gunshots were fired at the officers or not. That's when additional officers responded to the scene, and CMPD's helicopter was actually flying overhead as canines were canvassing the area until the second suspect was arrested. I did speak to one man who lives 3 doors down and says he heard everything unfolding.
I heard a couple shots fired. Then I saw the police right here take one down.
And the names of those suspects will be released once formally charged. Reporting live in Northwest Charlotte, Stephanie Tinoco, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Stephanie. And as soon as we learn any more details about the suspects who've been arrested and their charges, we'll bring all of that to you on WSOCTV.com.
All new at 11, a home invasion in Myers Park. A father says 2 women forced their way inside with his daughter just feet away.
Wanted cash and said they had a gun.
Why the victim's generosity may have led to the bold crime. Tonight, police are investigating that crime in one of Charlotte's safest neighborhoods.
Now, the victim tells Channel 9 the suspect showed up at his door on Selwyn Avenue on Monday night. We're not showing you exactly where in order to try to protect his identity. Eyewitness News reporter Glenn Count spoke to him about how all this happened.
Well, Eric, we're on Selwyn Avenue, about a block from where this home invasion occurred. And as you can see, it's very busy around here. There's all kind of shops, stores, bars, and restaurants. Now, on Monday, a couple of women came here looking for help, and they managed to catch the victims with their guard down.
She's shaking. I'm still shaking.
Home invasions don't often happen in Myers Park, but Monday night around 10:30, there was an exception.
And to have somebody come in and invade not only your privacy, but just, you just don't know what somebody like that's capable of. So
this victim didn't want to be identified. He was home with his 15-year-old daughter when he says he heard a knock on the door. He says he saw a woman outside. Otherwise, he wouldn't have cracked the door.
Cracked the door to see, asked what do you need, what could I help you with, and the door got just pushed in by one or both of them, and there were two.
The man tells us both suspects were heavy-set women who claimed they had a gun. Because his daughter was present, he told me he didn't want to take any chances, and so he gave them all the cash he had, which was about $200. They took it and ran.
Well, they weren't getting past me. It was basically in the foyer, and it wasn't going past there.
This area is one of the safest in the city with almost no violent crime. Residents were stunned to hear about this home invasion.
It's scary. It makes you feel unsafe and wonder just about your own safety and safety of your friends and family.
Yeah, I've lived here for, about 8 years now, and to hear something like that's pretty nuts.
Well, a neighbor tells us that she thought she saw 2 women casing the area a couple of days prior to this incident. She says that once the women saw her, they took off pretty quickly. Of course, now police have just started their investigation, and right now they don't have any suspects. Reporting live from Myers Park, Glenn Counts, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Glenn. Some breaking news turning to out of Alexander County, where sheriff's deputies are cutting down thousands of poppy plants. Deputies say that a tip led them to a home in the Wittenberg community tonight. Officers out there wearing protective clothing as they tried to remove the plants that they say are used to make opium and heroin. The property owners tell Channel 9 that they were growing these plants for pain medicine. Investigators are trying to determine if they also sold the opium.
If a person tells me that they've growing this just like marijuana for their personal use, this is a whole lot bigger than what I would think a person would use.
Deputies say they expect to make an arrest in this case after they cut down thousands of those poppy plants.
Right now, a plane carrying 3 Americans just freed by North Korea is in the air headed to Washington. Here's video from a stop in Alaska tonight to refuel. President Donald Trump says the plane is expected to land at Joint Base Andrews just after 2 in the morning. North Korea released the 3 detainees after Secretary of State Mike Pompeo met with Kim Jong-un. These 3 Americans tonight say they are grateful to the U.S. government. We'll be monitoring that plane's arrival overnight and bring it to you first thing on Daybreak starting at 4:30 a.m.
Well, now we turn to the heat. It's really start to about hit Charlotte harder than we've already seen it so far. It's been warm. Chief Meteorologist Steve Butelson tracking when neighborhoods will see up to 90 degrees.
Yeah, Erica, we top lower 80s this afternoon. Average high this time of year, to put it in perspective, 77. So that's not too crazy. But there is a big wall of warmth pushing our way. Temperatures were closer to 90 out by the Mississippi River. And that's the kind of warmth we're going to be drawing on over the next few days. Now, it's not totally unheard of. In fact, going back to the record books, typically we first touch 90 degrees second week of May. So you make the argument, well, it's kind of on time. We'll be right around 60 early on tomorrow, an unusually warm start for sure. At the same time, I'm also tracking a line of storms about 450 miles to our west. That is going to make a run at the Carolinas. In fact, based on some new data, I've had to bump up rain chances. I'll show you what I'm looking at and just what your rain chances will be tomorrow afternoon.
All right, Steve, a crash report says a local surgeon's blood alcohol level was more than 3 times the legal limit when he caused a wrong-way accident. The other driver was badly hurt in this wreck on I-40 in Morganton last week. Dr. Lee Turner works at Carolinas Healthcare in Morganton, but he has been suspended. The Highway Patrol says he left work around 4:30 that day and caused the crash 6 hours later. He is charged with driving with a revoked license, careless and reckless driving, and going the wrong way, but investigators say more charges could be added.
Investigators are saying that a road rage case in Gastonia led to a shooting by an alleged drunk driver. Jackie Herndon was reportedly angry with the driver yesterday and then started following him for miles. The victim driver called 911, hoping that police would catch up with Herndon. Well, he says that Herndon waved a gun out of the window near the Fern Forest Apartments.
He's literally behind me, holding a gun out of the window. Now he just shot at me. He shot at you? Yes, he just shot it.
Now, at least 2 of those shots hit the caller's truck. Investigators say that Herndon's blood alcohol level was above the legal limit. He is charged with DWI and attempted first-degree murder. Now we turn to a breaking situation overseas where the situation is actually uncertain. Israel saying that Iran has fired about 20 rockets at Israeli positions from Syria. Israel saying that its defense systems intercepted some of those rockets and that there were thankfully no Israeli casualties. Iran has reportedly vowed revenge after blaming Israel for a series of deadly airstrikes on its positions in Syria.
The North Carolina Department of Transportation is one of 10 agencies in America chosen to test the way drones can save lives. Reporter Stephanie Tinoco breaks down the plan to deliver medical care and possibly add a lot of jobs.
They're lightweight, compact,
so we're excited about the job creation,
and could be the key to more than 70,000 new jobs in the U.S. in the future.
And the North Carolina Department of Transportation.
This whole program is about how do we start to manage the highways in the sky.
They could also help save lives. The Department of Transportation announced today North Carolina is one of just 10 applicants chosen for a drone pilot program. The idea is to find new ways to maximize the potential of these machines.
We're focused on specifically how to bring medical supplies and healthcare to different areas,
including possibly partnering with large healthcare systems like Atrium. And that could help deliver critical supplies.
That means we're going to get it there a lot faster and a lot quicker.
Over the next 2.5 years, each participant will collect drone data involving their operations and turn it over to the U.S. DOT and FAA. With that, new rules will be created that will eventually expand the use of drones and their operations.
How do we regulate it? How do we determine what flight patterns make the most sense? That's what this whole program is about.
Stephanie Tinoco, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Other applicants will be testing new ways to integrate drones to deliver packages, secure airports, and other ideas.
Police released the full crash report more than a week after a UNC Charlotte student fell out of a party bus and was hit by 2 cars and died.
That report says there were at least 11 other passengers on the bus, ranging from 18 to 23 years old. Earlier today, Channel 9 was the first to get the inspection of the bus by the state. There were 13 violations, including operating without proof of inspection and emergency exits not being marked. They did not find, though, any problem with the latch on the emergency window that Polly Rogers fell out of. The bus owner did not return our calls today. He's facing a $1,500 fine and already has been cited for not having any insurance.
Immigration enforcement in Mecklenburg County is expected to change soon. We reported that Gary McFadden won last night at 11 as the new incoming sheriff, ousting the current sheriff, Erwin Carmichael. Well, McFadden says that means the 287G program, which evaluates the immigration status of inmates, will likely disappear soon. A spokesperson for ICE tells us that eliminating the program in the jail means the agency will now have to send agents out into the community to track down people who are living here illegally.
If the agency does those at-large operations, we may come across other persons who were not even on the agency's radar.
Now, numbers from last fiscal year show 455 inmates had active ICE holds on them through that program.
New at 11, pilots of the Southwest flight that turned deadly describe the moment the engine exploded.
A large bang and a rapid decompression.
The challenges they faced in the cockpit while making that emergency landing.
The pilots of the Southwest Airlines flight that had the deadly engine failure are speaking out tonight. First Officer Darren Ellisor and Captain Tammy Jo Schultz were at the controls and both reacted calmly when that engine failed in midair last month. Schultz was one of the Navy's first female pilots trained to fly fighter aircraft. In an exclusive interview with Martha Raddatz, she recalled the moment when they knew something was wrong.
Because it seemed like a flashback to some of the Navy flying that we had done. But really, Darren was just very easy to communicate with, and we had to use hand signals because it was loud.
Again, they heard a loud bang and had rapid decompression in the aircraft. Debris hit one of the plane's windows, leading to the death of one of the passengers. Now, the two of them say again that they had to use those hand signals to communicate. And you can see more of the exclusive interview with details of how they did this, and also hear from the husband of the woman who was killed on that flight. The story airs this Friday on 2020 right here on Channel 9.
Tonight, CMS is investigating after one of their bus drivers was caught on camera tossing trash out onto the roadway. A whistleblower brought us this video showing multiple times on John Price Road in Steel Creek where this happened. Chavez says he's personally watched the driver of bus 79 do this 6 different times.
It's ridiculous. No one should be able to get away with this. No one.
That is Sam Chavez, who sent us the video. We counted 15 similar bags tossed out on the side of the road in that same spot. We showed that to CMS. They told us they would let us know the results of an internal investigation.
Tonight, a couple is hoping someone will share a clue that leads to their son's killer. Larry and Andrea Schulman's 25-year-old son, Josh, was killed in an early morning home invasion in South Charlotte back in August. Now, they fear that the case is growing cold. So today, they joined CMPD to announce a $15,000 reward for information leading to a suspect.
I don't really want revenge. I don't feel that. But I do want justice for my son and to have closure.
Someone knows something. Now, you can give a tip to Crime Stoppers anonymously with a phone call, email, even by text. We posted details about how to do that at WSOCTV.com.
A mom in Rock Hill is mad that her 3-year-old son was left on a Head Start bus yesterday. Tamara Wells says her son Kendall was found sleeping on the bus after it was parked and left at the Head Start program at Silva Circle. Now, Walls, the teacher, says the teacher noticed her son was not in class and he was later found on that bus.
How long do you think he was on that bus?
I assume all day because they didn't call me after hours.
Carolina Community Actions, which runs the Head Start, would not comment on how long the child was on the bus or if the driver is still working there. They said they are investigating.
Some national attention is on North Carolina's 9th congressional district now. With Congressman Robert Pittenger's loss, Democrat Dan McCready is going to face Mark Harris. Harris says that McCready's party affiliation will cost him votes. McCready says that he is putting country over party.
There is a platform of the Democratic Party represented by Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, and you can only run so far.
Mark Harris is someone who practices the same old divisive and extreme politics that have made Washington the swamp that it is.
Experts have already started weighing in on this district after Pittenger's loss, changing its classification from lean Republican to toss-up.
Tonight, congratulations to April Johnson, the 2018 CMS Teacher of the Year. She's teaching art at Tuckasegee Elementary. Johnson received $1,500 and a one-year lease on a new car and some classroom supplies. So congratulations and well done.
Time is on.
Yeah. Thanks, Steve. A protest on the Duke CEO's front yard today. The great-grandfather arrested and the message he was trying to send by getting arrested.
And a Channel 9 investigation discovered new rental scooters that have flooded Charlotte streets are illegal. The action that's being taken by the city now.
A Channel 9 investigation discovered those new rental scooters that just hit the streets yesterday in Charlotte were rolled out illegally.
The company behind the new scooters, Lime Bike, did not get approval from the city to have the scooters out there. The company says that drivers are required to have a license and to wear a helmet. But look at this. We've seen many of the riders putting themselves and others in danger.
I like these things. I think they're really cool, but there's a lot of legitimate concerns that we need to make sure we have our hands wrapped around.
Now, the city is now giving the company until this Friday to cycle the scooters out. They're going to be welcomed back for a pilot period, but only after they've worked out the safety concerns.
A great-grandfather got what he wanted locked up after protesting in front of the home of Duke Energy CEO, the point he and others were trying to make with the tower right out front. It was a strange wake-up call in a South Charlotte neighborhood this morning.
We need solar and wind today.
Protesters gathered in the Duke CEO's front yard to protest the Atlantic Coast Pipeline. They put up a tiny little fracking tower. Police were called out. One man was arrested. We asked him why he wanted to do this.
I have grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and I want to see them have a planet that they can live on.
Well, tonight Norris is facing a misdemeanor charge for that protest.
The United Way of York County has an extra $100,000 to help families in need. The money from the Emergency Food and Shelter Program will go to people who need help with their rent, mortgage, or utility bills during the hot summer months. It'll be divided among nonprofit groups who apply for it.